Hey guys, it is Charles Almighty Wraith of Game Warriors Gaming for a Cause, and this is Unscripted. So, today, considering that September is Suicide Prevention or Suicide Awareness Month, I've actually struggled with this, whether or not I was going to do this video because of the, not because of the sensitive subject matter, but because of how close it hits home to me. And I've said it before. You may have heard me talk about it. You may personally know me, and you may know my thing. Um, so by no means am I an expert, but I do know from personal experience, and I'm going to speak from my personal experience. And no experience is the same, so you can't cookie cut this. But so for me, I've dealt with it for over 3 decades. My first suicide attempt was in the third grade, where I attempted to hang myself. And luckily, what I used did not hold up very well, and I fell and busted my butt. And there were several other attempts throughout that, and a lot of times where I'd bring myself to the point of doing so. And throughout the years, different things have motivated me not to, or to keep fighting and everything else. So if you are someone who is dealing with depression, I do strongly suggest that you find someone to talk to, someone to be your outlet. Preferably someone a little bit older than you, or a professional. Now, I will state that I've one counselor I went to was completely and utterly useless. Some of it was my fault because of the fact I was not ready to talk about it. The other one was the fact that it seemed like they were just collecting a paycheck. But then, years later, I did find a professional that did genuinely care, was not looking to put me on prescriptions, they generally wanted to find the root of the problem and everything. And it helped. And anytime that I feel down or anything like that, I have an open invitation to call said person. Luckily, I haven't had to for several years and everything, because I've tried to eliminate as much of the toxic people in my life as I possibly can, and to focus there on the ones that are surrounding myself with loved ones that are going to uplift me and everything. And I found purpose in Game Warriors. And the last actual attempt that I did was over a decade ago. I got to the point where I just didn't care and felt like everybody was better off without me, and that um, you know, I couldn't go on fighting anymore. And the moment that I did it, and the way that I did it was by uh, by overdosing on a bunch of different medications that I had. And they were prescriptions and stuff like that. And So I took them out, I counted them, put them back in there, and decided not to do it. And then about 5-10 minutes later, poured them back out, picked up a handful of, picked them all up off the bed, and took them. Over, it was somewhere around 30-40 pills total, if not more. But I laid back next to my wife and everything, and as it started kicking in and everything, uh, I felt like I needed to tell my wife that I loved her and that I was sorry. And anybody that knows my wife knows that she can sleep through just about anything. So when I leaned over and gently kissed her on her cheek and told her that I loved her and that I was sorry, she immediately woke up, and asked me what was wrong. And then as I was becoming more and more out of it, she kept on, and, obviously she was angry with me and concerned for me. So there was a lot of yelling and everything, but it was to keep me coherent and everything. So, um, when I did wake up in the hospital, I already knew what I'd done, how it affected them. I don't remember per se going outside and waiting by the car, but I remember my oldest looking at me with fear and everything and concern, not knowing what was going on, but knowing I was not right. Um, and so I spent a week in the hospital and everything, and uh, but I knew that I could not do that to my friends and family, um, and that what I'd done was a mistake. So when my wife picked me up from the hospital and we got home, um, the the pill bottles were laying on my side of the bed, uh, and everything. And like I said, they were prescriptions. But the thing that stood out to me and has been a reminder is the fact that, um, apparently, because like I said, I dumped them out. I So there should have been no way for um, one to be left inside the bottle, but there was. Um, Now, to me, that was a sign that God had bigger plans for me, that my life, you know, was not ready to, it was not my time. Um, and that's been a big driving force for me, and with not giving up. Now, that was my last attempt, but that's not, I would love to say that was the last time I had those thoughts or feelings or anything like that. This past week and a half or more, I've been real bad depressed and having to fight through it. Um, but I focus on my faith, and I focus on my family. I focus on game warriors to keep me going. And I talk to my wife. I may not talk to her as much as I should, but I talk to her enough to let her know, hey, this is what's going on and everything. And she's prayed for me. She's right there with me, um, and everything, to make sure that I don't get further in. Um, and like I said, I have someone I can call if it gets to the point where I don't think that I can fight it anymore. So, guys, I've got the number for the suicide prevention lifeline. Um, and you see it right there in their website, and I'll have the link of it in the description below. Guys, I encourage you, if you or anybody you know is struggling with depression and is suicidal, that you reach out. You take it seriously. And I know that there are some people that do it for attention. You know, they cry out, they cry wolf and stuff like that for attention. I've seen it. But we should never take it lightly and just dismiss it as that. I've had people in my life that did that. I had a good friend of mine and some family members that told me that I should just go kill myself if it was that way. And they they didn't see what I was saying as a cry for help. It was, they assumed it was um, an attention grab. We should never approach it like that. Um, we should always, take those seriously and try to get the help that the person needs, guys. And through your actions, you never know. You may be the light in the tunnel. You may be that encouraging word to someone that gets them to step off that proverbial ledge and to where they seek actual help. Um, so, guys, that's all I really got to say. Again, we're going to have the link it in the description below and everything. And I encourage you to seek help if you're this person or if you know someone that's in this situation. Till next time, guys, this is Charles Almighty, ready to say and stay awesome.